Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I thought I'd start the broadcast this morning with Mr. Boots in his little area. He seems to love sleeping out here in his little area. He's the old boy of our cats. I've lost count how many years we've had him. I think we've had him at least 9. And I know some people in Sheffield will be eager to see Mr. Boots, and also somebody else, Rebecca, will be eager to see him as well. But anyway, there he is, safe and sound. Looking at the weather this morning. Oh, there's Sheba down there. She's having a little drink. There's Crazy Herbert. There he goes. He's rushing about as well. The weather this morning, it's a bit mixed, really. I've got to be honest. It's looking actually lovely. As a photograph, as a picture, looking across the hills towards Amberlockaby and also towards Kerry. We're forecast for just some very cold weather, but I'll let Amanda, because I know she's looking in at the moment, say what the weather's going to be. But that's it at the moment, looking across the hills. A slight mist, but not much of a mist. There's some smoke as well, just rising up. People still doing their olives at the moment, you'd be surprised. But other than that, it's looking actually quite nice. Now, you know that I've come in on air late this morning because when I look where the sun is placed at the moment, it's not in its normal location. It's moved a bit, all right? So if I look down the back of the house towards the direction of Lagana and also Kalamaki, normally the sun is glinting in your eye, but at the moment the sun is a bit higher up as it moves over, because it moves across above where I am stood now and sort of sets behind me, all right? But anyway, that's the look. It's looking again nice, and looking towards the direction of Sillavi, going towards the north of the island. Oh, it's looking a bit grim, not that direction, I've got to be honest. A little bit of a more thick cloud up there, so we'll see if things move through the day. But I'm waiting to hear what the lovely Amanda Gregory does for her weather. She's probably frantically writing it now as I speak. Anyway, thanks for those people tuning in. A big shout out to Andy Spencer. He's probably in his lorry somewhere. Dennis Gekomanitos, he's also tuning in as well. Is that the Dennis from down at what was it? Trying to remember the name of the restaurant now, Michaelo's. I'm not sure actually if that's him or not. Steve Henley's walking as well. Heather Nash is tuning in. Steve Headley's looking in. Brian Slinger as well. Nice to have you tuning in. Right, let me just switch myself around. I've got a lot of news this morning because there's been shall we say, a very big uneasiness here on Zakynthos at the moment within the last 24 hours, and I'll start to explain that as I go through the news. Anyway, let's look at the COVID stats for the last 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, the date today, just to remind you, is the 13th of February. Don't forget Valentine's Day tomorrow, boys. Get your cards in, all right? Otherwise, you'll be in trouble. 13th of February today, which is a Saturday. Day 99 of the lockdown, all right? So tomorrow, Valentine's Day, it will be 100 days, all right, that we'll have done. But anyway, COVID in the last 24 hours. Now, there was 1,410 new infections across Greece yesterday, which was up from 1,327, bringing the grand total since the pandemic started to 170,244, of which 52% are male. No cases, believe it or not, were identified at any entry ports into the country. Now, that's either because we've locked down a lot or because nobody's coming. But that comes up later in some of my news, and when I get there, I'll emphasise it. But at the moment, there's been no cases, or nobody's been checked positive coming through the borders, and that's down from 8 on the previous day. Now, this is where people are starting to have a bit of a panic at the moment, or just basically, I'm not happy with the way that the figures have been reported at the moment, and I'll go into that. Right now, according to the national stats yesterday, there were supposedly 14 new cases of coronavirus on Kefalonia. Going through the local press of Kefalonia, I cannot find 14 cases whatsoever being reported. No mention of increased cases or anything else there. So where have these 14 cases come from? God knows, and why are they in the stats? However, Corfu yesterday reported 4 new cases on Corfu, which was 1 teacher, 3 students. They tested positive after mass testing in a school. However, the big story there was not about the coronavirus cases that were detected there or people testing positive there, was the fact that there wasn't enough testing kits to actually do the whole of the school. So only 120 people got tested out of 200 and odd, and 4 people were found positive. So I'm going to give the national stats that number of 4, okay, for yesterday. Now, when we come on to Zakynthos, we've had in the national press reported that we've had 6 new cases in Zakynthos. Well, I have been trawling our papers to find any stories of 6 people with the virus here reported yesterday, and to be honest, I can only find 2. Now, what's annoying me about this is that the local press of probably all areas, including the UK, are not questioning figures that are being released. All right. National stats put these figures out. People are taking that these national stats are gospel. And as I go further into this, I will see that, guess what? Even the people at the top are being selective with the way that they're using the figures. And I will come to that in a while. But anyway, 6 cases have been reported locally here in the national press. I'm a little bit annoyed at the local newspapers here as well in some respects, because all they're doing is cutting and pasting the national statistics and bunging them up online. Nobody seems to be cross-checking these figures, and I would like the press to cross-check rather than just blatantly just print everything that is told for them to print. I know sometimes they're under-resourced, etc. Reporters can be expensive, but I think at this time, sometimes people need to take a bit of time looking at these figures and need to verify these figures. At the moment, just bunging out the figures from the people above and saying this is gospel smacks of propaganda to me, which just props up the fear, props up the hype of the vaccine and everything else. And I'll come and clear that further as we go through the news. Anyway, we did have 2 new cases reported here in Zakynthos in the last 24 hours. One was a 35-year-old woman who tested positive on Friday morning. The woman reported to the hospital suffering with, there's Jane there, bless her, reported to the hospital suffering, cheers my darling, suffering mild symptoms, and was quarantined for 2 weeks, and obviously her contacts are being traced. Later on in the day, there was another case in the hospital. Now, this was found during routine testing of hospital staff, and a hospital assistant nurse was tested positive there. She was obviously sent home to quarantine for 14 days. So those are the only 2 cases that have been reported on the island within the last 24 hours, all right? Now, Zakynthos to date, and this will be interesting with my next news thingy, Zakynthos has had 78 positive cases since the beginning of the year, and 41 cases during the month of February. All right, so just remember those 2 numbers as we go through. Now, when it comes to deaths are down at the moment across Greece. Yesterday I reported we'd had 22, and yesterday we've had 21. Okay, the average age of those people passing away is 79 years of age, and the total amount of deaths that Greece has had since the pandemic started has been 6,056, and 95% of those had underlying health conditions and or were over the age of 70. And just to put that in context again, I'm going to keep banging this stat out. In 2019, the average death rate in Greece on a daily basis was 329 deaths a day. All right. Now, when it comes to critical cases in ICUs, now those are up at the moment. Yesterday I reported 281. At the moment we have 293 critical cases in ICUs across Greece. That's 213 males and 80 females. And the average age of those patients in the ICUs is 68 years of age, and 86% of those have underlying health issues or are over the age of 70. Right, now, the Deputy Minister of Civil Protection, Nikos Hariadis, said last night that Zakynthos will remain at the level of the increased risk, which is red, until Monday, the 22nd of February. Now, the Minister said that there were 23 active cases on the 1st of February when additional restrictive measures came into force. And at the moment, he reckons that on Zakynthos, we've had 49 cases, all right, of the virus. Now, his number is slightly higher than the number that I've got at 41 for this month, and depending where he wants to take his numbers from. Anyway, interestingly, the northern Aegean island of Thassos has recorded 25 cases in the last 5 days, and that region has been placed into the red, and they're classed as the third worst infection rate in Greece during the period when the number of cases is compared with the population. And obviously, Zakynthos is in the same sort of area. I was checking the stats yesterday, and I think we're down round about fourth in that list if you take the table that has been printed out. Anyway, the minister said that he wanted to emphasise once again the need for all to abide by the measures, and even in areas with an increased epidemiological burden. He said, we realise the fatigue that has accumulated after so many months of effort, which at the moment is perhaps our biggest opponent. Basically what he's saying to people is follow the rules, stay inside and stop the spread of the virus that way. And also, just because you're meeting family members, it's more transmissible through your family member than it is you getting off a stranger in the street, basically. And we know people are breaking the rules. I have heard reports of people saying, oh, they go out and they're out all night until well after 9 o'clock, when you consider that our curfew starts at 6. And you're wondering, oh, where are the police then stopping these people moving around? The reason Jane and I are following the rules is because, one, we don't want to get fined. And that's the bottom line of it. All right. I don't believe the lockdowns do work, and it's looking like lockdowns don't work. We've got an economy that is dying on the vine. And in some ways, there's more problems with health going to arise from that than what is going to arise from the virus itself. And also, the other thing about problems with the vaccination at the moment, the vaccine is not a cure. Please, will people understand, the vaccine is not a cure. The vaccine is like taking a Lemsip for a cold, all right? We are being pushed this vaccine. If you want to take the vaccine, that's your choice. If you feel safe that you have that vaccine, that is your choice, because at the moment people are complaining there's issues with trying to get the vaccine here on the island. We haven't had a delivery of vaccine, in my reckoning, since not last Thursday gone, but the Thursday before. All right. And once again, watching very closely to see what's coming in, what's going out. And we haven't had a vaccine delivery in a week. And those that come in obviously get used. All right. So again, the vaccine is not a cure. It is only to help with the symptoms of having it, but it is being pushed as if it's some miracle drug that is going to save you if you catch the virus, or is going to stop you getting the virus. All right. And the other thing connected with that is the propaganda of the passport to enable you to travel. I'm going to be honest with you now. The only reason I may take the vaccine is because I'm not allowed to travel to go see my mum, who at the moment is not in the best of health. And that will be the only reason I would take the vaccine, is so that I can move without being stopped from moving. But in principle, I'm holding out for as long as possible not to have the vaccine, all right? Because I don't believe half of the hype that's going with it. A lot of experts have said, no, the vaccine doesn't really do anything. All it does is help you with the symptoms if you catch it. And it's not really a true and proper vaccine. All right. So take that as you wish. If you want to have a vaccination, have a vaccination. If you don't want to have a vaccination, it's your choice. You should not be blackmailed. And that's the word, blackmailed into having a vaccine, not by the government, but by private enterprise, by private business. And if they do put a chip in it, well, we'll see where that leads, because some of the vaccines, there's been accusations of chips being placed inside them. Again, a form of control. All right. Anyway, now, going on to the vaccine again, all right, the platform for coronavirus vaccinations for all those citizens who are between the ages of 75 and 79, they also opened yesterday. Vaccinations for this group are expected to start on February the 15th. I can't see that happening here because we haven't got it on the island. The platform for all Greek citizens aged 60 to 64 opened on February the 10th. And I do know there has been issues with people trying to get appointments for the vaccine. Anyway, this age group will be the very first to receive the AstraZeneca vaccine, of which Greece has received 45,000 doses. And when you've got a population of how many? At least 10 million. That's not a great deal. All right. But anyway, we probably are not a priority at the moment for the vaccination for the vaccine. Okay. Also, as well, vaccinations in these age groups will be done in parallel with those citizens aged 80 to 84, which says to me they haven't managed to vaccinate all of that age group either. And as I've written at the bottom here, we've had no news of any new deliveries of the vaccine here on Zakynthos, and there has been some reports that some people are having difficulties in trying to book appointments locally here. Certainly the 2 vaccination centres that were supposed to have been set up in the ICA office in town and the one at Katastari, they haven't functioned. If any vaccinations have been done, they have been done at the hospital at the moment as well. Anyway, meanwhile, very bad weather is to hit Greece in the form of Storm Mida, so watch out for that. I'm waiting to see if the lovely Amanda has anything on that, which will bring snow and rain. And the reason I've mentioned that is because the Minister for Civil Defence has basically ordered all the Hellenic police and local fire departments to be placed on full alert. So that this storm doesn't heed the transportation of the vaccines, all right, which says to me that you're kind of going to be getting an excuse ready for when the vaccine doesn't roll out or doesn't turn up. They'll just blame the weather, all right. That's what I'm feeling is happening at the moment. So you have been warned, all right. Anyway, just a little bit of good news then. The 14 new state-of-the-art kidney dialysis machines, they arrived at the local hospital here in Zakynthos on Friday. Now, these machines are actually state-of-the-art, and they are going to obviously significantly enhance anybody who's suffering from dialysis, who has to go under dialysis here. And 3 of these new machines are the new ultra-modern ones as well. And they're made by a company called Baxter, which kind of caught my eye because I see Chris Baxter is looking in at the moment. I hope everything went well for you, fella, as things can in your situation at the moment. And nice to have you looking in as well. Anyway, so these 3 of those machines, these dialysis machines, are state-of-the-art. And there's obviously what they call the classic dialysis machine. 11 of those as well are now deployed in the hospital to make the services easier. And yes, the MP for the island was putting a bit of a political statement about there's another election promise fulfilled. Anyway, well done. That's all I'll say there, sir. Thank you very much. You're only doing your job, all right? There you go. Anyway, also, as well, interestingly, it's all medical today, I've got to be honest. The Greek Health Minister, Vasilis Konstamanis, signed off on Friday a call for 939 new permanent positions for doctors and several specialities in the Greek national healthcare system. Now, most of these 847 positions are staff for hospitals, and the remaining 92 are for people in ICA-run health centres. Anyway, the platform to submit an application opens on February the 16th, so that's next Tuesday, if I remember, with a deadline for people applying for jobs up until March the 3rd. Now, for hospital positions, priority has been given to these specialisations. At the moment, radiographers are required. 48 of those are required across the country. Anesthesiologists, they're the people who put you to sleep. They're looking for 97 of those at the moment across Greece. 31 paediatric doctors are required. 74 pulmonary doctors are required. I know we've only just had one here recently. There has been a big shortage of pulmonary doctors as well. And also emergency doctors in the emergency departments, they are requiring 76 for those. So if you know anybody who's looking for a job in Greece working as a doctor, I don't know what the pay and conditions are like. Probably nothing in comparison to the NHS. Your Greek is good. Don't forget that. Then there are jobs here for doctors here in Greece, all right? So you might want to let your neighbours know, all right, if they don't already know. Anyway, interestingly, looking at the airports, the Europe's air traffic last year plummeted to basically, tumbled, I think would be a better choice of word, to the levels of 1995, when going abroad was still a bit of an adventure. All right, you weren't moved around like cattle like you are today. Anyway, data from the regional industry group showed that the hubs for most travel last year were, believe it or not, Turkey and Russia. More people were travelling from there than they were in Europe. Anyway, European airports lost 1.72 billion passengers in 2020, over 70% as the result of, guess what, the coronavirus pandemic. And that was according to the Airports Council International. Now, Europe bringing traffic back to numbers last seen before the low-cost boom. The ACI Europe chief Oliver Yankov has said in a statement, no industry can on its own withstand such a shock. He added only 2.2 billion euros so far has been earmarked to support the region's airports. That's less than 8% of the revenues that they lost last year. So it looks like now the airports are now asking for handouts as well, obviously, to keep them going. So I'm going to now go on down to some good news, all right, some good news. But this is not my finally news, but good news. Jet2, yes, Jet2 has announced 34 new flights to Zakynthos with the additional capacity until the end of October from Birmingham, East Midlands, Glasgow, Leeds, Bradford, Manchester, Newcastle and Stansted. All right, so you're going to get a longer season with Jet2. Anyway, the airline and the tour operator, because there's Jet2, the airline, and then there's Jet2 Holidays. They're two separate companies, but they're under the same banner, for those who are not quite sure. Now, they're going to increase capacity with almost 80 additional flights in October and November to Zakynthos, Crete, Heraklion, Rhodes and Kefalonia. Now, they are the UK's second largest owner of aircraft, and they have made the move despite the fact that the British government continues to cast doubt on vacations abroad. Now, a few days ago, I can't remember the name of it, some minister was actually trying to say that at the moment in the UK, it was illegal to book a holiday. Yeah, can you believe the stupidity? It's illegal to book a holiday, and was actually going to take that to the courts to check if him saying that was legal. I can't believe the ludicrousy that's going on. If you book a holiday, you book a holiday. Why should booking a holiday through a lockdown be classed as an illegal act? Like trying to fine people £500 for lying on their entry coming in and not wanting to spend 1,700 quid staying in a grotty travel lodge on the outskirts of Heathrow Airport at £1,700 a week or whatever it is the time you've got to be there. So again, if you want to book a holiday, book a holiday. We want you to book a holiday. You might be breaking the law in the UK, but I'll let you deal with that, all right? Civil rights, okay? Anyway, it's also recalled that Jet2 extended the suspension of the programme last year in mid-April. Oh, sorry, they said they are going to start in mid-April earlier this week, which was good. Anyway, Jet2 Holidays has also expanded its range of hotels in Greece. It seems they've got more options with 2 up to 5-star hotels. And Jet2 introduced another 20 flights to Rhodes with additional flights from Edinburgh, Glasgow, Birmingham, East Midlands, Leeds, Bradford, Manchester, Newcastle and Stansted. So if you're in the south, Stansted's where you've got to go, guys. And they've also got additional flights for Kefalonia. And there are also going to be additional flights for Kefalonia from Glasgow, Birmingham, East Midlands, Leeds, Bradford, Manchester until mid-October, which sounds absolutely brilliant. Somebody says to me, I've got no sound at the moment. Okay, cheers for that, Rossi. I'm not sure if the sound has gone low on me again. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Let me just check, make sure I have got sound. Have I got sound? Right, okay, I'm going to keep going anyway. I'm not sure. You've kind of worried me a little bit there, Steve. Where is it? I've lost me. Now my mouse is not working. There we go. Anyway, the CEO of Jet2 has said there is still a huge demand from British holidaymakers who just want to get out in the sun and enjoy their priceless vacation. Right, it seems I have no sound. Okay, let me finish. Right, I've just relaunched the broadcast. I've noticed nobody is in the chat room at the moment. If anybody is still tuning in, please can you let me know if you can still hear me at the moment or whether my sound has gone, all right? But anyway, I will continue with and finally, an Israeli citizen from Israel has got in touch with the mayor, which is a good story for the mayor, specifically wishing to send his best regards as he is a big fan. I've just noticed Margaret Miller is tuning in. Margaret, can you still hear sound? Just let me know if you can still hear sound, because it seems for some reason I was muted through the broadcast, which again is not very good. All right. I'll start that story again. Anyway, an Israeli citizen has been in touch with the mayor of the island, which is good. Thank you, Steve. Steve says, good, mate. You obviously can hear me now. An Israeli citizen, start again. People are all starting to turn up again, which is good to see. I'll just wait till a few more people turn up. Again, the sound is fine, Steve says. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that, mate, because, again, it's really weird the way that all of a sudden the sound suddenly just disappears on when you're trying to get a message over, which is a message of hope, all right? Anyway, some good news. Oh, well, it's nice news. As you all know, our mayor here, Mr. Zakynthos, is always under pressure. He's got took to court last week for slander. That's still going through the courts at the moment, and defamation of character. He's had problems in Patra, okay, over the case where he got robbed. He's also been under pressure because of the way things have been running at the Demos as well, with the sewage works and everything else. So it's nice when he gets a little bit of good news, and bless him. Anyway, an Israeli citizen from the city of Karak Balak sent an unusual email to the mayor of Zakynthos. He specifically wished our island the best. It seems that he's a fan of the island, saying that he looks at Zakynthos as like his own city because it's twinned with his town over there in Israel. And there is a big connection between Israel and Zakynthos, and I've probably said this many times, with when the extermination of the Jews was going on, certain areas in Greece have to hang their heads in shame as they did nothing to protect the Jewish population within their communities that have been there for hundreds of years. Zakynthos did the complete opposite. Zakynthos protected all its citizens and managed to spirit them away. And the Germans couldn't believe what had gone on. They came to round them up and they were gone. And the only two Jews they had was the mayor at the time, and also the Archbishop Christolos. And they were basically, they said, well, we are the Jews. And that caused a bit of an incident with the Germans. They didn't quite know how to handle it. But anyway, so Zakynthos is greatly revered in Israel. But anyway, and we're also, seems we're twinned as well with a few cities over there as well. Anyway, he asked the mayor to send him a photo of himself and to autograph it. And the mayor's reaction to that was, it's definitely something you do not encounter every day. So there you go. He's got a fan over there in Israel, the old mayor. Right, okay, let's have a quick look at those people that are coming back into the chat area again. Once again, I do apologise for what's going on. I don't know why the message has been muted this morning. I think I have been a little bit vocal about the way things are going on here. And you know what? I don't care. People need to start looking at the news. They start to look at news from other sources and other areas. Don't just take it that what you're being told is the truth, all right? Please check. Please independently verify through independent media sources. You've got to remember, all media's bought somewhere along the line by one side who wants one message going out and another side who wants another message going out. Even the governments now, you cannot trust everything that they say. You need to question. And if you don't question what is said, what you're listening to is basically propaganda. That's it. They have an agenda to meet. Drug companies at the moment making a killing, literally, out of this virus. Everybody running in a panic, not knowing whether they're going to be able to have a job, whether they're going to be able to go to work unless they have the injection, not being able to get on a plane unless you have the injection, people being tracked, traced, and losing civil liberties, all for our safety. Yes, it's for your safety. And to be honest, half of it is absolute bloody bullshit as well. Right, so Margaret Miller, she's watching. Thank you. Steve Hinckley says good. Rachel Hanson is watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in. Morning. Rossi is watching as well. It was Rossi who said that there was no sound. Anyway, at least the sound is back. Nice to have you tuning in from Australia. Right, in fact, you're the second viewer that's tuning in from Australia. I've got my other mate, Graham, as well, who's tuning in from Australia. Graham has a very good website as well, which deals with PST, post-traumatic stress. And he's also written a book as well on that subject as well. And he's well worth a check out as well online as well. Steve Hinckley watching. He says, sound still fine, mate. He says, thank you for that. Mark Stewart is watching as well. Delia Guttetsi is also tuning in. Nice to see you tuning in, my lovely. Caroline Davis is there. Noel Hester is watching. Rachel Hanson is watching as well. Noel Hester is watching. He says, morning, Ginge. Andrew Geach is watching. Nice to see you checking in as well, buddy. Christian Wildridge is looking in as well. Paul Green is watching. Amanda Gregory is watching. Where's the weather forecast, Amanda? Graham Bint, my other buddy over there in Australia, go check out his website. He does a podcast as well. If you're into military mindset and stuff like that, but also with mental health as well, he's very, very good on that subject as well. So give him a shout and give him a look as well. Rosewood is watching, and I did see some of your comments, Rose, as I was going through the news. And thank you. You are somebody who doesn't believe 100% in what's going on in regards. Yes, there is a virus, but it's not as serious as what everybody's. Yes, it has killed some people. But to be honest, most of those people, and I do know people who have lost family members through it. And some people have lost family members needlessly through it because they actually caught the virus while in a hospital, okay? And I know people who had their medication changed for no reason, had to go to the hospital. And when they went to the hospital, they contracted the virus while on a visit. So, yes, I do know it has affected lives. It has wrecked lives as well. And I do have the deepest of sympathy for those people, because some of these people may have died needlessly, all right, and not through any fault of their own as well, but because they're put in a position where they feel frightened, they have to react to what's being told to them, and they probably don't know any better, all right? I'm not saying I know any better, but I do know a lot of what's going on. I treat it with the greatest of suspicion at the moment, and I feel people have been hoodwinked. And Rosewood is also saying people have to think for themselves, and I believe I do. Anyway, Amanda Gregory says, calm before the storm, she says. Cloud with rain, orange alert for thunderstorms over the weekend. Temperature to drop at the weekend. Thank you for that, Amanda. Your nice, concise weather forecast. I like that wording, orange alert. Orange, it makes me think of Captain Scarlet, I think it was. Anyway, anyway, we're in orange alert for thunderstorms, all right? Not coronavirus. We're in red for coronas. We're in orange for thunderstorms, in case anybody gets confused, all right? And all right. And Amanda Gregory says, Alan is grounded. Oh, I don't know what Alan's been up to. He probably didn't get a card, did he? Anyway, just a thing, if you need to get a card, book out 2 on your phone, go into town. You might be able to get one in one of the bookshops. They are still allowing people to come in, and you may get a card there. I'm not saying any more because I might give away the game, all right? Anyway, Maureen is tuning in as well. Love it to have you. Wiggy Winstanley is watching there. as well over in Cyprus. I hope you're having a good day, mate. Lovely chatting to you yesterday, by the way, as well. Talking Northern Soul we were. Rossi says, you're doing a great job, buddy. You always speak the facts. Thank you for that, Rossi, over there in Australia. Amanda Gregory says, lightning strike. Oh, that's the reason why he's crying, because of the lightning strike. Yes. Amanda got struck by lightning the other day, and she sent me a lovely video of it. I still haven't put it up yet for anybody to see it. So, that's another job to do at some point. All right. Right, okay, I'm Andy Joyce. Oh, Andy Joyce! Is that Andy Joyce from Ibiza? Looking in, used to be on the radio, doing very well. I played one of your records, actually. Or it could it be Andy Joyce, one of my Raf Reg buddies? I'm not sure. But anyway, nice to see Andy Joyce. If it's Andy Joyce, I was playing your record a few weeks ago on Beats Radio, all right, .co.uk. The show went out last night. Thank you for those people who watched the show on Beats Radio last night. I've got another show out on there tomorrow. Northern Soul show that goes out 5 o'clock UK time, 7 o'clock Greek time. Go and watch it. 2 hours of great Northern Soul. Thank you for those people who gave me requests as well. All requests have been played in that show. Also as well, thank you for people watching the Dance Anthem show last night. In fact, it's nice to be able to sit back and watch something rather than doing it and be critical of yourself. And I thought, you know what, Ginge, that weren't a bad show, actually. And I was pleased about that. And once again, thank you for all those people yesterday who tuned in for my broadcast, for my Requesting Inspiration broadcast live, using a new skin on there as well, where you can see the videos, you can see me separate. And I think it works really well, and people are amazed at the fact that I managed to get Shipwreck Bay into the back bedroom, all right, as well. So fantastic. Anyway, listen, I'm going to leave it there. Once again, you take care, you stay safe. And he said it was Alan that got struck by the lightning. There you go. Sorry, I thought it was Amanda. Anyway, who says lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place? Well, that's probably an old wives' tale. But anyway, I better go. Thanks again for sticking with us. I'm not sure what was going on with the sound. What I'm going to probably do now is edit the two halves together. So I will then post it up to YouTube. Once again, please, if you go into YouTube, could you please like and subscribe? I'm trying to really grow that area because if I get taken down off Facebook, because I could see that probably happening at some point, somebody will have a gripe and say not broadcasting to community standards. And if I disappear tomorrow because of that, we know somebody's been given a hint, shall we say. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow, and you take care and have a good day wherever you are. And we'll see what tomorrow goes, because looking at the weather at the moment, it looks absolutely lovely. We shall see if Amanda is right, all right? And I'll catch you later. And cheers, Andy, for tuning in. And I'll catch you later, guys. Thanks a lot. Ta-ra.